Hello and welcome to another live stream. Today we said that we were doing sip and colour, so let me clarify for those of you who aren't sure what that means. This was inspired a little bit by the idea of sip and colour or paint and sip, which usually involves champagne or something fun. But today we're doing the morning edition of this, and really this is more about having a nice coffee or a nice tea and just sitting and colouring together.
I mean, it is 10 a.m. I was going to say it's 10 a.m. somewhere in the world, but it's actually 10 a.m. here.
I'm sure for some people it's night, so you can do what you want to do. I don't know what drinks I've got today, but we're going to just mix things up and see what shows up. I've got a coffee to start, and I think my purpose for today was actually I don't want to get too caught up into like techniques or too caught up into a lot of the really detailed stuff that you know when you watch me, if you've been on my streams before, I tend to like really hyper focus, and there's a perfectionist in me, let's say, that comes out often when I create art. So today I actually want to kind of try and just push that aside and actually just have some fun colouring. So the idea of the sip and colour is like, let's just hang out and colour. So first of all, let me say hello to everyone who's joining. Also welcome to our members that are here. We have a new member already, Kario Kinnock, I believe it is. Welcome to the bronze membership. Now you get to post all the fun little emojis and little cute Moscow and all that fun stuff. Also, Caitlin, good to see you again. Em, good to see you again. Suzanne, oh, sorry that we might not see you, but you can catch the replay later, but have a good rest. I think we already said, no, Carol is here. Good to see you. And I'm sure we'll have more people pop in as we go. We have a few people with their evening coffees already. We ran out of coffee yesterday, so we're currently in decaf mode, but Shane did walk dry, I don't even know what he did, but got me a coffee this morning.
With my jetpack.
He flew with his jetpack to get me a coffee. And it's not that hot, but it is coffee, and it has...
I did order it extra hot.
You did?
So
by the time I got here?
I can testify that it was burning my hands the whole walk home. So it was hot at one stage.
There we go.
Not so much now.
So really good to see everyone. I thought, I'm trying to find a way to just rest a little bit more in my colouring. It's probably not hard to imagine that when you do colouring and creative things for a job, it becomes less of a creative outlet and more like work. So today, my goal is to make this a creative outlet again. And this is going to be actually quite a challenge for me in its own way, because naturally, you're watching and we're doing this together, and so there is pressure. Like, no matter what I say, there is pressure. So my goal is to just forget the pressure and just colour like I want to colour, not worried about the end result, just for the purpose of colouring. So I can't promise that these pages will look good in the end. I also would say, if you're intending on colouring along, maybe wait until you see how mine looks to decide if you want to copy my colours or if you want to do your own thing. I have actually, so I've got here some cozy colouring books that I actually bought on the weekend because I found these in the local shop, and I know I have a lot of these already. When I recently did my big review on Amazon and looked at all the different colouring books, I actually gave away a lot of like the Coco Wyo ones and gave away a lot of the Bold and Easy because I didn't really think it was my thing. And now I'm thinking that was maybe a mistake, and maybe I'm just very, very behind in the trend. No, I think what I'm realizing, like, I love hyper detailed stuff. I love being able to make stuff as realistic as possible, but that's a very specific type of art for me. And that's something that, like, when I'm doing videos, like, I love to challenge myself. I love the adventure of like discovering new things. But there are also times when we just need something with no pressure, and we just need something we can colour without worrying about all that. And I'm kind of in that state at the moment of trying to figure out what that looks like for me again, and how to sort of this year spend more time just making art without the pressure. And actually the Bold and Easy is the perfect solution for that. And that's, I think, why it became so popular when it has, is because people are looking for something that they can do and relax and enjoy without the pressure of making it perfect. Now, in saying that, people are getting pretty fancy with these. Today, we're going to do a bit of, we're going to lean into a little bit of the dopamine coloring that I've been talking about, and that I've been sort of trying to work out what it fully looks like. It's something I'm kind of discovering for myself and bringing you along for the ride. We have had some live streams where we did strictly dopamine coloring, and the main idea of this, the main purpose is that we're choosing colors and choosing topics that release the natural dopamine so that you don't then need to hack it with social media or with other things like that. Welcome, Gendalia Zinfarm? It's always hard with names because I don't know where to break the words up. Welcome to our membership. Really nice to have you join us.
Do you know one thing I noticed? Sorry, it's a bit of a distraction. I thought for a second that you had like painted your nails, and I thought that's weird because like you don't usually paint your nails.
No,
and then I just realised
it was me, paint pens. Although acrylic paint pens probably actually would work to paint your nails because they're acrylic. I should one day.
There is someone who always posts on Instagram like really intricate like nail art that they use the color cube for.
Yeah.
Which is really cool.
Oh, maybe that's a challenge for me one day.
Yeah.
I don't know. Can I just use like paint pens on my fingers? Anyway, I've created this little stash here of my... So I'm trying to work out for myself what exactly is dopamine coloring. And we've had a bit of a play. We've had a talk through in some live streams in the past. I actually yesterday spent the day collecting the colors that I feel work for my brain in trying to achieve this goal of dopamine coloring. So I've got alcohol markers, and I've got some paint pens, and I've got some pencils. My goal is that, like, I always personally find reducing a color palette takes off a lot of pressure, but also I want to work out how to sort of create this perfect set of colors that are the kind of colors that just make you feel happy using them, but also lower the risk of like accidentally making mud in the process, because like I want colors that as you use them, they make you feel more confident, and that you can just kind of like freely experiment. And if anything, putting these colors together brings out new colors and stuff like that, that you don't end up just like with something that you regret. So I'm trying to work out, for one, what is that perfect set of colors? And also what makes me feel good, because that's a big part of it. And which colors, I'm even sort of looking into the science of which colors actually like release dopamine, because there is a science that's starting to come out about how much colors and art and everything affect our mental health and stuff like that. So I'm kind of looking into all these different things right now and trying to figure out how it all fits together. At the same time, I personally find that like one of the biggest things that stops my creativity is the fear and the pressure. And actually I want to just like work out how to release that, to bring that confidence back and to still make it fun. And for me to make it fun, it has to come with little challenges. It has to come with like stepping out of my comfort zone a little bit. Otherwise I get bored. So trying to figure out what that version of that looks like. So let's jump in, because we can keep talking about this, but I do want to get coloring. So my goal here today was to just find something that I just actually feel like coloring, as opposed to trying to think of the perfect picture. So I've got a few books here that could work. I'm kind of drawn to this one. It just feels happy, right? So that's a maybe. I also noticed this one. This one's all got really cute quotes, which is cool. Like, you make me smile. Laughter is the best. So this feels like a really good, like, on-topic one, right? Enjoy the little things. That's a bit of fun. And then, ooh, I like that. I love all of your, oh, that's actually really cute. I'm feeling this one straight off the bat. Oh, or do it even if it's silly. That's a good sort of like challenge. So that's cool. So actually, I'm feeling this one to start. And like I said, this is not necessarily about creating the perfect art piece. And I know when I've done dopamine coloring in the past, I've had like a messy start and everything like that. I don't know if that's what I'm going to do today. I am going to see how I go, not using any supplies beyond what is here. I do also have just some fun, bright color palettes that for me feel really like fun and active. So that kind of reduces my colors more, but I'm going to just feel it out, because everything, all of these things, like creating this little collection here, the color palettes, they're intended to make you feel more confident and excited and to enjoy it, not to create restrictions.
It's funny because I think quite a while ago, I feel like people sort of thought by putting these like quote unquote arbitrary restrictions would actually sort of make it harder. And, you know, why don't you just sort of not have restrictions and just do whatever you want? But I think you find the restrictions actually help you be more creative.
So because I am a perfectionist, if you don't limit my choices, I get stuck in like decision paralysis. And my favorite pictures I've ever done, in fact, no, it's going to take me too long to find it, is actually when I've done the one color challenges, because even though it's like this challenge in one aspect, for me, it also takes the pressure off in a big way of like, I don't have to pick different colors. I've only got this small range. So it becomes more about values. And so I get to like completely restrict one area in order to create freedom in another area. The same with like time challenges. I know that for me, it's like if I only had 1 minute to finish this page, I would make very different decisions than if I had 5 hours to finish this page. And so that in itself, that restriction actually allows you to be more free because you don't have time to be perfectionist. So you have to kind of just make quick decisions.
You're not allowed to overthink it.
Exactly. And I am an overthinker. So a lot of this is me trying to figure out how not to overthink. So my question here is, what am I feeling? I mean, I've got this. I actually really love this color palette. Now, this leans into darker than what I've even got here. So it would be more like this. But that is actually a really fun collection. I also like that one. Same here. I don't really have the dark version, but I've got some of these other colors. They're all, see even already, these colors make me so happy. I love them. That one's feeling pretty fun. No, but I want to keep it at, I am thinking, for the sake of making a decision and not taking forever, even on that, I'm going to pick this one and I'm going to try and just blue tack my book down because then it doesn't move around so much, which I'm going to need some more blue tack. I've got my blue tack under my desk like a thing of chewing gum in high school.
I just, like, even though you know it's blue tack, just reaching under the desk and that feeling just is, like, gross for me.
That's funny. Oh, this is going to be a pain, actually. Ugh. I should have, like, pre-flattened out the book, but then I didn't know what picture I was doing, so I couldn't really do that. I think that'll help. It just means that when I'm drawing, it's not moving everywhere, which means that we can also film it for like, let's shove this blue tack back under my desk. The good thing is at least I know where it is, even if it feels a bit gross. It's just right there all the time. Okay, so here is my colour palette that we're going with. Hey Shane, are we recording our top camera, by the way?
We are.
Yay! Sorry, you might even see this pop up on like Instagram Reels or something like that. It depends how much I like it because I don't want to add pressure by making this about content. Okay, so we have two directions we can go here. We can just, well, let's just grab some colors. So this extra color at the top is one that I've been really drawn to lately. So I've got these two options that could work that sort of, it's almost like a lime. I really want this to be more like a fluoro lime for what my brain is loving lately, but that's okay. For my dark color, I've got some dark purples. I did actually make myself a cheat sheet. I was naughty and didn't use the swatch decks. I'm sorry, Shane. I should have used this. Oh, hang on. No, that is the right one. That's the one I was grabbing. So here, these are the colors that I've put in my selection here. I didn't want to do them on a swatch decks until I like made sure I was happy with this color set, and then I was going to copy them across. But that's a silly excuse because we have so many.
I think the problem is you maybe overthought it.
I did, absolutely. Again, overthink. Now, so here, these two dark colors, I don't quite have that dark, but I have these two colors that are both kind of close. So I'm actually going to grab them both out. So we're going to grab them. And then the lighter sort of, it actually moves away from the purple really quickly and goes into a more this pinky color. So I'm going to grab this color to help support it and maybe our P1 as well. So already, just by not having as many options, I'm not going looking for this exact color. I'm just like, oh, these are close enough. So it actually sort of, by limiting my colors and then limiting them again, it's kind of actually making it easier, weirdly.
I think it's something about the color cube cards as well is like if the color's sort of close enough, like you don't even have to overthink.
Yeah.
Like that's not like exact.
Yeah.
It just needs to be close.
I'm also just looking at this picture, and I do feel like there's a bit of room for maybe a dark blue. We'll see how it goes. So I've got that. So that's pretty much it. That's my colours. I wonder if it's worth just. Oh no, you know what? We're just gonna go. Let's not overthink this, yeah. So, and I also then will grab some paint markers to go with this as well. So I don't have a particular plan. I might just pick something to start colouring. The colours are clearly not going to be realistic colours. So I am going to start with, oh wait, I should put a bit of paper under the back.
I feel like you also need to do like some drinking, given that this is a sipping
yeah,
colour.
I haven't sipped anything. You want me
Yes.
to do some drinking? That's sound
No,
okay.
this is family friendly.
Family friendly.
Yes.
Drink. My crossword mug, for which I lost the instructions, I can never actually do the crossword, but I like the mug because I like crosswords.
And if you are in the chat, tell us what you're working on, what you're drinking. Someone has asked where they can buy the Colour Cubes palette. If you just go on sarahreneclark.com, you'll find a big banner on there, be able to see it and see what different volumes there are. Sarah's working from which volume have you got?
This is number 633, so that would be volume 3, I think.
Yes.
All right, now I didn't know if I was going to go messy with this, but I've decided I am. So we're going, like, not worrying about the lines, we're just going for it. I don't know if that will be a good decision on this particular piece, but once the decision's made, the decision's made. Yeah. So the box here, I've just gone in with the quite bright pink. It's gonna, I might see if it dries that splotchy, we might end up coming back a bit. But then I'm gonna come in with one of the darker colors and just add some shadows to just make me feel a bit rough, but just to feel a little bit like, I like adding shadows. For me, they're a relatively easy way to just make something look more interesting very quickly. So I'm going to do that.
I never would have thought in something as large and bold and easy that you could still manage to get outside the lines. But
Well, it took an intentional choice.
Here we are.
All right, I'm feeling Teddy can go for the purple. Let's see. I did promise that this might not look good in the end. We don't know. We're just winging it. All right.
Gender Liaison Farm has commented saying that she loves the portrait you did for Hopescope, which we posted last night.
You. I really like how that came out too, actually.
And Terry is sipping on some Chix soup.
Some what?
Chix. Chix. So either that's like chicken soup or it's like some kind of American thing. Might have to clarify, Terry.
I'm thinking the next page I do, I might try not doing the super messy look, and we'll just see. Because already I'm like, oh dear, Sarah, what have I done? But the fun, right?
So Terry has clarified chicken.
Okay.
I thought it was like some kind of like American cracker or something. I don't know, some kind of weird thing.
All right, so we're doing messy, but I've still done some like shading. I'm also still like, I don't use alcohol markers a lot. I'd like to use them more. This is a good just chance to use them. I actually feel like I need some lighter colors. So I'm going to work in the same range that I've already got, but they always end up, like these are drying darker on here than what they did on this paper. So even just that in itself is like, oh, that's actually a lot darker than I thought it was going to be. So probably should check my chart before I do that. Maybe I can bring in like the light pinks and blues because I just feel like I need some lighter colors. Everything's very dark. Just to be clear, for people watching going, I'm sorry, does this girl even know how to colour? This is how this started too. Just in case we need to just bring back a little bit of sense of hope.
I was about to say, I love how like intricate you are in your colouring. Just getting right in there with those fine details.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, this is actually me trying to break from what is usually intricate details. Just pause for a second because this is what my this is what my usual colouring is, right? Is this. So, and this is a long project. So this is my way of trying to loosen up from the perfectionism, and this has a place, and I love this, and I want to do more of this. But I also want to work out how to give myself less pressure, and sometimes making a mess first takes off the pressure, because then it's like, well, it can't get worse. Although it often does anyway. Put this back. All right.
We have a new member.
Woohoo!
Welcome, Tara.
Yes. Oh, I've seen Tara around. Welcome to the membership. Thanks for joining us. All right, this is a lot darker than I was expecting, but then to be fair, my reference is pretty dark, so that's kind of on me. Oops, I look like I've accidentally like decapitated Teddy. I need to make sure that's clear. That's a shadow, not removing his head. Maybe I shouldn't have done that. Where in it? Well, he's got a blue shadow, so maybe I need to bring some blue shadows elsewhere too. It's not just Teddy.
I mean, if you're laughing during making it, isn't that part of the...
I mean, that's good, right? It means that I'm obviously, like, enjoying it.
Even if it turns out terrible, you had fun along the way.
Thanks, Shane. Thanks for the... Thanks for the pep talk.
Anytime.
I've kind of, like, accidentally created, like, a blue shadow along the side, and it kind of works for me. So I'm going to just lead into that, I think. Oh, what's coming in? Oh, we have a new drink. What is this, Shane? What have you brought me? Is it something I'm going to like or something I'm not going to like? Let's have a look. Sodally Blood Orange. Okay, so...
I actually tried it yesterday. It's not too bad.
Okay, but I don't like blood orange.
Yeah.
I've never liked blood orange flavour. But... So, the ingredients in Sodally: carbonated water, apple cider vinegar. That's like the second flavour. But apparently this is good for you. This is also dripping. Wet. Paper towel. All right, let's try it. Different sip and colour. If I don't like this, you can have it. Thank you. Yeah, that's already making a big mess. Condensation. All right. That's strong. I don't know if I like... I don't know. I would drink it, but I don't love it. It like has a hint of orange, and then there's like this other flavour that kicks in.
Might be the apple cider vinegar.
Probably. Yeah, no, I don't think I like it. You can have it. Here. It's yours now. Enjoy. Oh, that's going to ruin what's left of my cold coffee. That's all right. Okay. What are we doing with this? I don't even know. Okay, I just... what do I need? What colour haven't I got? I don't have a lot of the pink because I kind of turned it all into a shadow. So we can make this into the pink. Bit of a pink Nintendo, Game Boy, whatever this is.
Now, Tara has posted about getting into the Discord. Maybe after this live stream, we will put up a members post, members community post with a link to the Discord. So if you're a new member, you can hop in that community and hang out. For
Silver Plus, to be clear.
Yes.
All right. I have gone darker and darker and darker, and I need to stop going darker. We might use this as a pop of the green lime colour. And we might also do the same with our words, but I actually will try and not have... Part of the reason why I don't mind going under lines too is because the alcohol marker tends to bleed. Well, I don't know in this paper, I haven't tried because this is with a new publisher they've got. Often it will bleed out of the lines anyway, so if you're just not even trying to go in the lines, then it's like, doesn't matter.
I don't know if anyone can hear on the live stream. If you hear a little like buzzing noise in the background, we have a 3D printer downstairs that pretty much runs 24/7 these days.
I'd be very surprised if they could hear that, to be honest, but fair point. Just going to add a little bit of my colour around here. When we say we have a 3D printer, I was given a 3D printer and Shane's the only one that's used it so far.
You told me I need to get more hobbies, and this very much is a hobby that I'm loving, as noisy as it is.
I'm not complaining. You're all good. Okay. So, I mean, I'm actually not totally hating this. Like, I know it probably looks like a mess and whatever, but like, I'm actually enjoying the process, and that's the point, right?
And it's all uphill from here.
Thanks, Jane. Confidence boost. Just give us a top view for a second, because I'm going to forget which colours, although there are only so many colours here it could be. Not that you can probably read that anyway. But that's all right. Let's put these back away, because I am also very messy usually, and so by the end of this, everything's on the bench. But I actually like to keep them in my little rainbow order that I've got here, because there's not that many of them, so it shouldn't be that hard to keep track of them.
Caitlin has asked what I'm 3D printing at the moment, which at the moment, a little bit...
At the moment as in right this minute, or as in this month? Because...
No, well, right this minute, I'm printing a battery storage case, which is a little bit boring. But I do just finish printing a really cool 3D printed like plant pot, which looks cool. And you might see in the background behind Sarah, there's a 3D printed cat.
The little kid.
Low poly cat.
Can I get him? I can just hold him like this. Ah. Little kitty. Here he is. He can sit and admire my work. There he is. He's very cute, actually. He's Moscow and Moscow's not here. All right. Now, I have got these paint markers from Enmi. Most of my paint markers are just all in a big pile, so it's like behind me here. I don't know if Shane, you can show that, but they're all mixed up and they're all in different, all the brands are all together to make it a pretty rainbow, which is only going to be for today, and then it's going to get put back in their brands. But I did manage to separate the Enmi ones, and I don't know yet if they're a winner, but they are one of what have ended up being like the top choices. So I thought, well, I might as well grab them for this because I could find them. And yeah, so there's probably still a few missing, so I don't have that many colours, but I have enough colours to kind of work with this. So we're just going to use them and see. And I was just thinking here of like just adding some outlines on some of these areas now. I haven't really thought about if I want to put any patterns or anything on here, because I also have pencils and I have highlighters that are probably, well, they're bright, but are they the right colours? One thing I've noticed with like, yeah, let's do it. With the words, dopamine colouring. The dopamine, it has been the first time that I've like really started to like neon and really started to like pastels. Until now, I would pretty much avoid those colors altogether. And so it's kind of challenging me to use colors that I've always been a little bit almost just hesitant to use because they're not realistic. And I love doing like this hyper realistic stuff. So even just now, like adding these tiny little pops with a highlighter to me just is like, oh, there's like this new interest that shows up on the page that just wasn't there before.
Everybody's got highlighters.
Surely, right? Maybe. I don't know. But it just adds something. And again, I'm just being messy. There's no sort of real system here. I do have some very fluorescent alcohol markers, but I'm probably going to stay away from them at the moment. The pink's actually not that more fluorescent, these, but I also do have, some fluorescent pencils. So the pencils can be a really good way to get a bit of color back on top of some of these. So I'm hoping like, yes, so like the fluorescent yellow on the blue will actually bring back some of this sort of green, but brighter, right? So again, I don't have any particular places that I'm going, oh, I should color that and color that. I'm kind of just coloring where it feels in the very little moment that I'm doing it. The one thing that I am sort of doing is pulling shadows this way and light that way. But even then, I'll probably just break that rule and just put light everywhere because it's fun.
M. Rose has asked where you got your shirt from.
This was from an event that we did that the Bob Ross company hosted. So I'm actually not sure if you can buy them.
That was at NAMTA a few years ago.
Yeah, an art trade show. We're going again this year. So I'll see if I can get some more. But yeah, I don't know if you can actually buy them or not. Do we need to move our cat now?
Yes, I think the cat might have to go because he was in the front of one of our cameras.
Blocking the whole shot, just like
Yes.
Moscow does in real life.
Yeah.
You can move over.
So we can have like a 2-hour recording of just the blurry back of a 3D cat's head.
So this really lifts some of the other colour really quickly and just pop, which, because this is also dark, it needs some of these lighter pencils just to help lift it. And again, just adding some intentional scribbles in other areas means that the mess in some areas feels more intentional, you know?
The funny thing is, like, and this is genuinely supposed to be an encouragement, as rough and messy as that started out, like, it's still sort of rough and messy, but kind of makes me happy just looking at it.
Well, that's the goal, right? Is that now you start to see the colour jump out. And I think the neons are really good at that. Giving them a chance to kind of... Now, what I need is some neon paint pens because that would really just allow me to chuck them on top without... Because this is still... Like, the pencils aren't completely going to jump out in the same way that paint pens would.
Do you have any paint pens?
I have these paint pens, but they're not neon. So, but yeah, I wanted to just, and again, like you can see how rough I'm being with all of this, but I'm just trying to feel it out. And I mean, I know for me, the more I do stuff like this, and even that picture that I did do of Hope Scope and that, like it gets easier and it gets more intuitive. Like the first ones are going to look pretty messy, but I do think that it's something that everyone can probably do something like this. And I think the restrictions on things like the color palette does then mean that I can be a lot riskier, because even when I've probably got a little bit risky with some of these colors, they still kind of work together. Like it still kind of just blends. So it's fairly safe. So I'm kind of just adding some cross hatching now in some of these shadows to, again, just feel like it's a bit rougher. Just in some of the areas that haven't really got shadows yet. And even just in like some of these areas, just loosely, so that it feels a bit more intentionally rough, you know?
Caitlin has suggested that I should put some photos of the 3D prints on Discord, which I will.
That's a good idea.
Yes.
Yeah, you should. I don't know if we have a thread you can use or if you need to start a new channel for 3D printing, but
maybe we can just
there is other hobbies.
rename the colouring channel to the 3D prints channel.
Why would you even suggest something like that? Okay.
Amber is loving the way that it looks now with the neons.
Yeah, I do think it's really brought it up a lot. And this is what I'm discovering, that when I add neon to stuff lately, I'm like, oh, that makes me so happy. That's what I'm going for, right? And I don't think I've really experienced other colour that you can just put down messy like that has that kind of effect. No, I don't think
I wonder at what point you're going to get back into doing like tie-dye shirts.
What? Get back into? You said... When have I ever done tie-dye shirts other than like primary school?
When you're like 15 or something, maybe?
15, more like 6. I don't know. Take a bit to convince me on tie-dye. This blue's standing out a lot, the pencils on there. I love it because it's pulling now a different colour out of the cardboard.
Kara's asked how the paint marker tests are going.
Really good. We're close. I think, we're 2 weeks away from possibly having that out. So we are getting there. There's lots of testing. It's actually ended up being more testing than any of the ones that I've done before. Like all the pencils and markers and everything. This is a really good pencil. It's really like opaque on top of everything else. Like it's showing up on top of any colour, which is really cool.
What brand is it?
It's Prismacolor, but like not all the Prismacolors quite do that. Like whatever I put it on, it's just jumping out off the page, which is exactly what I'm looking for right now. Because then I can just, add lines and whatever, and it just jumps out. I don't really need teal. There's not really any teal in this, but...
Tara is in the Discord. We didn't even have to do the post.
She worked it out.
Very good.
Good job.
Is it time for another drink?
Yeah, what you got? What do you got? What's this? Ooh. What's with the orange things?
I'm pretty sure you chose these ones. This one.
I chose them when I bought them, like, in the HelloFresh or whatever. I didn't choose them for today. What do we got? Pink collagen
Hashtag
glow.
not sponsored.
Strawberry, dragon fruit, apple, pear, collagen. That actually sounds alright. Let's do it. Let's juice. So I might need some ice with it, but that's actually nice. The dragon fruit. Hashtag not sponsored. Strawberry, dragon fruit, apple, pear. I can taste the pear. The pear's strong. That one's a winner. Here you go, Kat.
Is that one getting kept?
Yeah, we're passing on the coffee because it's gone cold. Kat can have the drink. Okay. Oh, I just looked away from it and looked back and went, oh, this is happy. So that's, again, good sign.
That's what you want.
I probably have done enough with the pencils though. Like I've really overloaded it. There's a lot going on. I probably could have stopped a long time ago. But it's making me happy. He needs little cheeks. It is making me happy, but I do think I'm probably getting to the point that the more I'm adding is not necessarily adding. So that means it's time for paint pens. I don't have a white. I do have a white. What do I have here? What's this? I have a white gel pen. So that should work okay on the alcohol markers. It won't work as well on the pencils, but we'll make it work.
Do you want me to find you a white paint pen?
I mean, nah, that's all right. I think the white paint pens are actually all together, but still. So what I'll probably do here, okay, yep, we found some white paint pens. Yeah, all right, I'll put that there. Let's come back to that. So what I'm thinking now is actually, I don't know whether I want to completely cover up the black, but I'm kind of just doing it anyway. Is just getting some of these top edges, that probably is a silly one to do because it's like the same color. So let's go on more of the opposite colors, just as if the light's kind of hitting it. But I'm going to do a bit with the blue, and then I'll come back with like a different color as well.
So you're aiming for like contrast?
A little bit. More just aiming for just rainbow. I don't need a lot of this color on things, I think, because there's so much happening already. If I do a bit of that and then a bit with like the pink, maybe. Maybe? I don't know.
The question in the chat of how big is your lovely work table?
I don't even know, but it is good now. I like how big it is, but I don't know. I'm already getting paint marker on me. You know what else I like doing with paint marker is just like adding like dots around, just patterns, you know.
I think you've always liked using the markers, like even in the really early days before paint markers, you were using like white gel pens, and you're always adding like little sparkles and highlights and things.
Yeah, just kind of like, I don't know, it again, it just creates a rougher thing, but it feels intentional. Now, I don't really know what I was going to do with the writing. I don't know, it doesn't need a lot really, it probably just needs a bit of white. Says me this. I always do the opposite of what I'm saying. Because yellow's not really in this picture. Like it's a little bit with some of the green, but I have to be careful not to. So we'll just add just tiny bits of yellow because it's actually not part of the picture, but the green kind of gives me a little bit of room to pull it in. But see, even just layering this here, it's like that looks less like a scribble and more like a chosen area of mess. Are my words making sense?
Do you ever work at an incline, I guess, with your desk tilted?
Naturally, I always... Oh, sorry, you mean this way. No, I was totally thinking how you like sit on the corner. And I was always the kid that had everything like tilted and would be like this. Short-sightedness. I should. The problem is that we can't then do a top camera if we do that. And so that's always been a bit of a limitation on that.
I suppose if you did a top camera, it'd just have to be like further back and on like the same angle as the desk. So
yeah, I guess.
Maybe one day.
It would be better for my back. I don't know, I'm not really sure what else to sort of do. Like, I mean, I always just keep adding even though I don't need to. But sometimes there's those extra last little things that really just make it pop.
Do you need something around that little flower above the Game Boy, the light purple bit?
This bit?
Yeah.
Good call.
Cajun Hawk has joined the chat.
Hello. I'm kind of... Any thoughts? How are we going with this? I can bring in my white.
I think some white would make it look really good.
Let's see, I need something to scribble my white on just to make sure it's actually working, because I don't know the last time I've used this. And just do... Oh, I probably should find another white pen. It just needs to run to get the ball moving because it's a ballpoint. Oh, maybe I can just... The problem with white paint pens is that it is actually really hard to find one that's like fully opaque. My favourite is... Where's the Artex? My favourite from that white paint pen test I did was like the Arteza one, which I've got here, and then the Artex one, or Artistro one. But funny enough, I don't like any of the other colours. This one. I really like their white, but I don't like any of the other colours. So it's kind of like just buy the white sets if they have it and forget the rest. The rest of the colours aren't anywhere near as opaque, but the white is very opaque. Really good shape. Make sure they're mixed up. And then got them running on this. I don't know why I decided to do both. Let's just use that one. Because these do hold their colour better than pretty much any other white marker, which is why I was very disappointed when the rest of their range just didn't. They probably will soak into the pink a little bit because most, even the white paint pens do that. The other thing I've gotten into doing lately, which I really like with like this kind of thing, is like broken lines. So like rather than doing a line the whole way, you kind of stop a bit early from the end and do just some dots so it feels like the line's kind of like fading into nothing almost.
It's like emulating the white pen not working anymore and start skipping.
Well, that's not really the intention, but sure. I think I don't like what I've done with that in the end, but that's okay. Probably, no, that was a bad idea. He just looks creepy. Let's come back with something different. No, that made it worse. Where's a black? I've got just a black pen. Why on earth would I think, I need to let that dry for a sec. Why would I think that red or white eyes would be beneficial? Okay. I like how white kind of just makes everything just kind of sparkle, like straight away. But having some of the other colours underneath it, on the edges, I don't know, it adds a little something extra. It takes the pressure off the white having to do all the work, I think, somehow. Shouldn't have done that. Box. No, I went to do white again on those eyes. No. Black eyes. There we go. Better. He's happy again. We can add just some little dots though, or even some little like... There's like a... If you do this and then like blur it one direction, you can actually make a pretty good star, but probably shouldn't be doing that with my finger. I need like a little brush or something to do it. What's the time, Shane? How are we going for time?
I think you might actually finish this one before the end of the stream. It's 10:52.
Oh, so I've got time for another page.
Yeah.
Nice. All else fails, add lots of dots. What I need like a little, I need like a really fine brush or something that I can use, because then what you do is you draw the dots and you swipe them up and down, you draw a dot in the same spot again, you swipe it side to side, and you end up with that sort of star look without having to try and draw the star perfectly. Because the sparkling, look how sparkly that looks now. Isn't that fun? Same here, just very slight and down. Do it again because finger is not the ideal way to do it. But it creates those like blurred lines that are really hard to just draw. There we go. See how it kind of creates like the muted. Oh, you've got a brush for me. Thank you. We'll try that next time. That would be better. Let's try it again down here, right? And try these dots, and we'll just try a little. Yeah, there we go. Try again. So it creates like blurred lines. Probably still not quite perfect, but you get the idea. Have you got another drink for me? Like, haven't even like barely sipped the last one. Oh, what? We got options. This is just like you've just raided our fridge. All right, what do we got? We've got Pepsi Max, soda water. It's not cold though. And we've got a juice pack for my kids' school lunchbox, and it's dripping. Oh, see, I just kind of, what did I commit to with this? Because I kind of just don't want any of these. I'll go the water. But
well, you don't have to start a new one. You can always reject them all and go back to your juice.
Yeah. Yeah, I can. Because it's my stream.
It's your stream and you'll cry if you want to.
It's my stream and I cry if I want to. Yeah. All right. I think we are almost here. I'm just adding a few more sparkles because sparkles are fun. But I'm not sure that it needs much more because even the sparkles have kind of just gone a little bit overboard. But I've had fun. And that was the goal here. And I needed some fun at the moment. So this is good. Let's get just a little bit of an edge on that. And let's just give our teddy some sparkly bits too. I think letting it dry for a split second before doing the brushing actually helps a lot with that little effect. And let's just add a few scribbles, just because it's too neat.
Maybe you need to whack a stencil on it.
Well, I could. I've got some stencils here, but I also don't know if it quite needs that kind of level of messiness. I think I'm pretty happy. What do you think? What's the verdict? Are we happy? Are we done?
The problem is because there's like such a delay, you'll be like, what does everyone think? And it's like 20 seconds before you get any feedback whatsoever.
Just leave it, and I'm just going to keep drawing until you tell me that everyone says I should stop. So I'm just going to keep...
Cajun loves it. Melville, so happy looking.
Great. That's what we're going for. So I guess I can stop then. This is, I mean, they do say art is never finished. It is just abandoned. There is always more that you can do.
Susan Dawson loves it.
I really like how this turned out. See? That's it. That's the concept of dopamine colouring. Is like because at the start I just went in, and even to the point where it was like, is this even going to turn around? It gave me then something simpler, and the pressure, I mean, if I could do this with the pressure of all of you watching and going, I do kind of hope this turns out at the end. You got to think then, if you're doing this at home and it doesn't need to look good by the end, you're just enjoying the process of playing and seeing what happens when you add neon to this bit, or seeing what, like, just seeing what happens with the supplies. And I mean, I'm doing this with just alcohol markers, paint markers, a few highlighters and some pencils. There's a version of this that you could do with like all the wet mediums. So like you could start with like watercolor, and actually like Christy Rice has a great watercolor palette that has the neons in it. Actually, I probably have to give her a bit of credit for showing me that like a neon yellow actually can completely transform other colors, because I wasn't really brave enough to try it until sort of using her palette.
There's also another artist in Australia who makes really cool neon coloured Jane Davenport.
Oh yeah, Jane
Yes.
Davenport's colours. Oh, her colours just, again,
She has very like bright
amazing
colours too.
Yeah, really just happy colours. And so some of these people that I've been following and just looking at more of what they do really have encouraged me to take a risk. And look, this actually fits this colour palette so beautifully. And look at that. And again, like I had even more limited colours because I didn't have like this really dark colour, but it just works. And how fun is this? And none of these colours, like, it's a box. Boxes aren't purple. But it just it's so fun. I love it. I really love it. And
We have a comment here from Rachel, one of our members. She wrote, "Love it. I wish I had the confidence to let go like that." So I'm going to go to the serious close camera and you can...
I am someone who has struggled for a long time to let go. Honestly, the best thing you can do is just do it. That sounds simple. It actually is that simple, but it's also very, very hard. But that first step, and you know what I did the other day that actually was a good option, is I was stuck a little bit and I was like, I want to do something like this, but even just, where do I start? What colors am I using? What picture do I pick? Even that was like too many decisions for the moment. So I got my 6-year-old to make me a coloring page. And I took the 6-year-old coloring page and I just colored that, because it was like, well, I was going to say he has very low expectations, but he did tell me that it was a bit messy and that I could probably make it better in part 2. So
I love when someone gives you that's a good start.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Like, oh, that's coming along. Really, it really captures the messy middle. That was you, Will, that said that.
That's got a lot of potential.
He said to me, that really captures the messy middle. And I was like, Will, I'm almost done. This is not transforming from here. I'm really happy with this, because the thing about this is that this page now for me is actually full of surprises that I couldn't see this when I started. I couldn't see where it was going. And so it wasn't just a thing of trust your process because it will turn out okay. It was a case of, I promised you at the start of this, I didn't know if the art was going to turn out okay. It might be ugly. And that's the thing. Like, I just kept playing. And it's not always going to look good when you just play. My sketchbook from the other day would definitely point that out. But it's the process of playing where you do find this stuff. And you find things like the fact that neon yellow actually pulled out the very green that I was trying to create by adding it to the blue and stuff like that. And it's actually just exploring the colors and stuff like that. That is the goal of what I'm trying to achieve with this. Not just for you guys, but for me. I need this right now. I need to find a way to make art more fun again. But for me, fun is not just relaxing, coloring in the lines. There is a part of that I probably need to do as well. And maybe the next picture I do, I might do more coloring in the lines. For me, actually, there's an element of I need the challenge and the discovery and the spontaneous, just add a color here that I don't know what's going to happen. That for me is what is part of the joy. I'm finding that exploring the colors and exploring the potential of the art supplies does mean that I don't know what the end result's going to look like, but it means that when I get to the end result, even if I don't love everything about it, I can see what I found. And I mean, you can see it's making me happy. So this is a good thing, right? Not every live stream do I look happy. A lot of them I look very stressed because I'm so focused on making it perfect. So.
I wonder if the thing with that as well is like if you were to put that up on the wall, each time you look at it, it would remind you of how you made it and how you let go and make you relax just a little bit.
That's why I have this little one, and I want to frame this one and a few of the others that we did, which I need to find the other dopamine coloring things of like, I look at it and I still don't remember like how I got to the final result, but I see the little bits like here, like the neon pink, and I go, oh yeah, that would have been a risky over putting that neon pink on like the green. That's kind of ambitious. And I see the bits where it's like I just took a chance, and I really love how it all came together. So it's definitely something that I'm exploring, and I want to figure out like what is the dopamine coloring framework so that everyone else can do this but confidently, and not only feel like I can only do this because this is my style, but actually find a way to equip everyone else to sort of be able to free themselves up like this, because it has been really good for me just in even just understanding color, because it's all about just playing. So I really like how that came out. All right.
Do you want to do another one?
Yeah. All right. What do we got? We've got less time. Actually, no, we're doing well for time. Put these back in my little arrangement. I'm liking this little collection here that I've got. So far, I haven't felt like I'm missing any big colors. It has no browns or anything like that. It's very much limited to my happy colors. And I'm just trying to work out, am I missing? I might add a few more paint pens in like the lighter range, but overall I like it. Okay, so that was the one we've just done. I'm just going to put that in there so I remember. And then we have new color palettes to choose from, and we have new books to choose from. Now these ones are more like buildings, so that's kind of cool. I feel like I kind of do want to colour in the lines for one of these a bit more. I don't know. Well, that's a bit fun with the soap suds and everything. What's this one got? Oh, she looks very happy there. I haven't really done any of the dopamine colouring with full, like that's the first time today that I've kind of done more of a scene with the dopamine colours, whereas normally I'm doing more like single objects like this. So even this is like exploring for me, and I love it. This one I saw before, and it has kind of got my attention. Thinking, how can I play with this page? And maybe it's not quite like the dopamine thing that I've been doing is very messy, and like maybe it's less that, but like what other ways can we just explore? And I'm going to keep using this sort of limited color range and just see what we think. So, I mean, with this one, it's like we could do something like this because you've got a bit of the green, or you could just like ignore the palettes altogether and just go with like, I mean, see, I like palettes because it creates another restriction that actually does me a lot of good. But I do think I want some green here. Well, you've got something really bright like that. But I don't know, I'm actually liking this. This almost like it's like a rainbow, but there's no. I mean, I probably want some yellow for the ducks, so we'll add some yellow. But otherwise, they're just very sort of simple. Gee, that fingernail is getting more and more weird. I think I'm going to go with this one. It's actually got a bit of that almost lime green again.
Angela in the comments said, I just got all 4 colour cubes last week and loves them. Spent time colouring and not agonising over what colours to choose.
Oh, that's exactly what they're for, so that's perfect.
And Melville's asked if you'll make a dopamine colouring collection of palettes when the companion comes out.
Maybe. It's a good idea.
It could be a subscriber collection.
Yeah, maybe one of the subscriber collections we can put together is something like that. Yeah,
so I'm going to say probably, almost definitely, yes.
All right, so we've got some greens. I've probably got more greens than I need just because I know there's a bit of green in this scene. I also do think I don't know, I might pull in a little bit of the teal, see what we can do with our greens. The sky, I don't know. I'll come back to the sky, work out what to do with that later. And then I'll just get some other colors so that when I get to the other areas of this, that I'm kind of ready to go. So I've got that bright blue, but then I do think we need some more lighter options. And then the purple is not really like any of these purples, but we're just gonna roll with it. And then this sort of pinky color, it's kind of like this one the most, I think. The R200. So let's use that as our starting point. Some very pretty colors here. So we've got that one. Not gonna sit nicely on there. So it's kind of that, right? With a few extras in between. There we go. All right. So again, the purpose of this is for me to enjoy the process, not to create stress. So I'm just gonna color. And this, I might stay in the lines a little bit because I didn't before. And I don't know. I just feel like coloring at the moment. Sometimes staying in the lines actually stresses me out. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. But having created one nice piece in this stream so far, for me, takes the pressure off this one. So I'm just gonna color for this one.
The comment that says, I've just started sketching again after 6 years thanks to your videos.
Oh, that's so nice to hear. I really, like, my videos are never about, hey, look what I did. I really want them to be challenging and inspiring. Even the stuff where I do like ridiculous big art projects, it's actually just me trying to sort of find something that puts me out of my comfort zone to remind you that it's okay to do that. So I love hearing when you start drawing again or creating again as a result of watching something I've done.
Brinny5252 says, even though I enjoy the process of picking out colours, watching your streams makes me want to buy the colour cubes.
Well, I enjoy the process of picking out colours too, so...
But when you pick out the colours, usually you have sort of go-to colours.
Yeah, like this just for me means that I'm going to grab something different. Like my usual set of colours, I usually avoid greens and oranges like anything else. Like I avoid them a lot. Whereas like this, it's kind of like green's a big part of this palette. Otherwise, I just go back to the same like teal to blue to purple to pink. And I might try and throw in like a yellow as like a complementary colour. But that's like all I ever do. So I've really liked having something different to go to. I think I might do something a bit different up here and just try to like go a bit bushy. Because just colouring in gets boring for me. I want to do more. I want to do something different with it. I don't necessarily find it relaxing to just colour in big blocks of colour. I find it just makes me want to like hurry it up. It brings out my impatience. So it's good for me to have like challenges to go with it.
The question about the companion. I know that the companion will work with hex codes, etc., but are there suggestions for a good monitor or specific settings that will help us to see the color palettes as close to the real colors?
That's a really complicated question. I don't know if you have a way to answer that, Shane, or...
Well, I think I would say that a lot of good quality monitors in general are quite accurate. Like they've come a long way, especially like Apple monitors have come a long way. But I would also say that the point of using limited color palettes isn't to get sort of 99.9% instead of 99.5%. So I mean, we mostly use Apple monitors here, and they're pretty accurate. Other than that, you can get like Asus have ProArt monitors, or you can get different monitors that have like color accuracy, and then you can go out and get little devices to kind of calibrate them and stuff. But I would also sort of say don't overthink it too much, because there's a good chance that your monitor colors are going to be pretty close anyway. If you went and print stuff out, that's sort of a little bit different, because I know printers can still be like wildly different to what it is on screen.
The other thing is, like, if you're talking about, say, matching the not just the palettes, but like the art supplies, it is important to note that like digital can never really capture certain colors. So like these neons, for example, there is no hex code that will represent the neon the way that it's represented in real life. So in just by it being an online resource, there's gonna be a little bit of imperfect matching, because that's a problem that no one has been able to solve in the world yet, of like how to perfectly replicate ink digitally and vice versa. So there is a certain level of like, it's not going to be perfect, so don't panic. And we'll do everything we can from our end to make sure that like the hex codes we get, for example, are as close to the suppliers as possible. Initially, we're going to be using a lot of just like what the manufacturers offer, because it's sort of what is available for us to get a lot of supplies quickly. But eventually we would like to scan them ourselves so that we can actually get you more accurate swatches to go with it. I don't know what coloured feet ducks have, but today it's this colour.
I think they're normally purple, aren't they?
Oh, that would be fun. Well, that would clash with this and it just turned grey. So too late. If I had mentioned it a minute ago, I probably could have done exactly that, just for fun.
Is there a difference between the original colour cubes and the new ones?
There are a lot of differences. We did a whole video about it.
Yeah, I would say the best explanation would be to watch the video on Sarah's channel, because we go through sort of the things that we wanted to change about the first volume, so you can see like all of those changes in detail, and also why we changed them. I think that because we could spend a lot of time explaining all of the different things, but
please don't make me explain.
but there are a lot of changes that we've made to it, and I would say watch that video.
Yeah. Good suggestion. All right, so I'm kind of just, I've gone into texture mode because it's what I was feeling in the moment of like, I'm basically just scribbling like this, right? Over and over, like tiny little M's almost, and lightening my pressure into them. And so it's kind of creating a bit of a grassy texture with just the different greens that I have. And I've left a sort of lighter edge. I was thinking that might work with my lightest green. I assume this is my lightest green. Sometimes you don't know with the caps. But just layering the greens rather than being beside each other, because they're laid on top of each other, they kind of blend a bit better. So it's kind of working how I was thinking it might. Again, because I have the limited colour palette happening, it sort of gives me a bit more room to experiment, which is helpful. But yeah, I think that's all the green bits that I'm supposed to be doing on here. So that's kind of my greens. I think I'm kind of done. Put them aside. Now I'm going to work out. No, I was going to bring in some yellow for the ducks, so I might do that first. Even though that's not in my palette. Again, you don't have to use the palette as a restriction. It's supposed to be a starting off point. That's not as yellow as I thought it was going to be for a duck. So I might come back with some pencils. Brighten it up a bit. That's not a duck. That's a flower. I guess it's a yellow flower now. I'm just trying to think if there's anything else here that I want to be yellow. Like, whether it's better to just leave it as the ducks and the one flower.
Do the breadsticks need some yellow
Well,
on them?
actually, they could probably be that kind of colour. Because if I make them like green or something, they're just going to look mouldy. So that's actually probably a good colour for them. Good call. And then I wonder if this is a darker one again. So I'll just use this as like a little shadow under them. And for their beaks, maybe again to go over their feet. And we'll brighten them up with some of the pencils after. All right, so flowers. We can go pink and purple, or we can go blue. I'm thinking pink and purple feel a bit more realistic for flowers. Oh, actually, I'm just gonna do pink only. Let's do that. Whoa, that's a very bright pink. I might even do the same, like her pants or something. I'm just thinking, do I want her pants to be that bright though? Or what if her bike is pink? Because I've still got purple and blue, but then I probably need to save the blue for the sky. So we're going for a pink bike. And she can just be wearing the purple, I think. Work out which parts of this are the bike. That. A bike was always black. Or can you have like the wheels also?
I think you can get like cream coloured wheels or white wheels.
I'm just trying to decide, like, do we just do them in this colour and then just darken them with some pencils? Why not? Let's do it. Oh, that's a bit messy. Oh, handle. Don't forget the handle. And there is these sort of attachments. For the sake of simplicity, I'm just going to make them the same. I think that's the whole bike. And then there's more flowers here. Ah, they can be the same. Okay, and we did say, actually, before I go further, what I might do with this is I've got a darker sort of mahogany. So I might use this now to just darken up some of those areas of the bike that probably shouldn't be just the light. By having the marker underneath, it also means that I'm not going to have the white coming through, so I have to worry a lot less about the pencils being perfect. If anything, right now, this is reiterating to me that the dopamine colouring process works so much better for my brain, because I'm looking at this going, yeah, it's nice, but it's a bit boring. Whereas the other one, I was like enjoying the whole process so much. I mean, that's going to be different for everyone as well.
Tracy has said in the comments, thanks for the live tonight. Sitting here with ice on my cheeks from a rough morning at the dentist.
Oh no.
Watching you colour is calming, but also waiting not so patiently for the colour companion.
Shane, do you want to give us an update on the colour companion? I know you did in your video recently, but for anyone who missed it.
So I sent out a video to our email newsletter, which we'll send out again this week, showing everyone a bit more of an in-depth walkthrough over the different features and where everything's at and where the roadmap's at and all that kind of stuff. So if you're interested in what the Colour Companion is and what it does, or if you're someone who has supported us by buying the digital colour cubes or the lifetime membership, you can kind of see what you're going to get and where everything's at. So I think it's a really good video. I hate the sound of my own voice, so I've told everyone on the team, if you're going to watch it, you have to use headphones because I don't want to hear myself. But yeah, have a watch, see where it's at. It's almost ready. There's still some things we're just ironing out and putting all the data in so that it's ready. But I know that once everyone does get access, you're going to love it. So yeah. That's where it's at.
Yeah, nice. All right, I'm using my pencils to do a little bit of shading that you could just do with the darker alcohol marker, but I actually really like pencils.
I think after you finish this one, you'll have to put them both together to do like a side by side to see the two different styles.
Completely different style, yeah. See if we can brighten our duckies up a bit so I've got a bit more of an orange beak. Oops. So like in the other mode of just drawing outside the lines that I've just not even colouring in the lines now.
So now that you're doing those like shadows and stuff on there,
yeah,
how are you working out what needs shadows and like how to do them?
It's something that I've kind of just picked up over time. I kind of just look at each object and think, like, if that was 3D and you put a sun on top, what areas would be darker? And so, like, with the birds, it's like underneath is going to be darker because the sun's not going to shine there.
Colour where the sun don't shine.
Yeah, exactly, right?
I think what you did in the early days is you actually, like, put an object on your desk to sort of, like, represent the sun to kind of just help you. There is actually a really helpful video if you go back a few years now on my channel where I talk through the different kinds of shadows that you can colour in, and that will actually help you a lot in understanding what I now do sort of intuitively of like, where do the shadows go? How do you know where to put them? Stuff like that. So I would recommend going back and finding that video. I don't know if someone can find it and share it in a comment maybe, but a lot of it's like, if there are two objects overlapping each other, then the one underneath, I mean, even look at my hands right now, the one underneath is going to, probably not because we have such even lighting here. Bad example. The object underneath is going to have a shadow where the top one's sort of overlapping it because the light can't get to that. So like in this example, if
hypothetically, I mean, I'm doing this, I'm not really picking a light source, but these flowers behind are probably not going to get light in these little gaps because the flowers in front are going to block that. That's called a occlusion shadow, I think they're called. So that's one type of shadow. And then there's also just like the directional one of like if the sun's coming from here, then the shadows are going to be on the opposite side. So it's a little bit of both. Here it's like this will be shadowed because she's sitting on it, so she will be blocking the sun. But then some of these bits, they might still get sun access. So it's a little bit of just making it up as you go along, and sometimes just adding any kind of depth to something will make it feel like it's got shadows. Now I'm just going really lightly, doing that same thing I was doing with the markers, but with a pencil. Even here, like I'm doing this fairly quickly and trying not to worry too much about it being perfect, because no one's going to stop and look close enough anyway, except for me. So I could spend an hour doing this and I'd be the only one that notices the difference. Different, of course, if you're doing like a photorealistic project, then of course you want to spend the time and get it right, but it's not exactly what we're doing here. So a little bit darker. I mean, this is teal, it's not really darker, but under things like the bike wheels and under the ducks is going to be a tiny bit darker because, again, they're creating the shadows. But this is not actually a darker colour, so it's not really all that useful for that. It's more just a different colour. But shadows also don't have to be the same colour as what you've done everything in, which is where it can get quite interesting if you were to like... This might be a bad example in this case, but if we were to use like a purple for the shadows, we end up with quite a different look than if we just use more green. So you can even kind of get adventurous there. I'm heading away from my bright colours, so I'm going to stop. I wonder what would happen if I pulled some neon into these ducks now. Really brighten them up a bit, you know? At least on that top bit where the sun hits them. Like you don't really see the neon, but it does lift that yellow quite a lot. You could potentially even, I don't know, use some neon along some of these edges. It'll make it more orange, but just to boost the colour a bit and add a bit of a different colour in it. I wonder if we bring in some neon pink in these areas too, what that would sort of do, just to add a bit of variety in these flowers so they're not so same. I think the paint pens is probably where that's going to help the most. Could even be a bit risky here and do a bit of fluorescent on the duck, but don't know.
Melville really likes the technique of a marker under pencil.
Me too.
And Linda said it looks like Bailey J universe / art style.
Oh yeah?
I think Bailey J really likes the ducks as well, so that probably,
That probably
sort of comes into it a bit.
I I haven't looked at Bailey Jo's art for a while, so I'm just gonna go. So yeah, I'll take your word for it, and that's. I don't know how much I wanted to be like matchy-matchy. I'm a bit confused by her outfit here. Like, is that like a bag, or is that part of... No, because that's the bag. I think this is part of the shirt. I'm just going to colour it in purple because it feels like it would be weird to make it different. Because this bit here is like a shirt underneath, so... Right, what next? I haven't really used the pink at all. So I guess that's the colour of... Oh no, because we use this on the bike and then it's kind of gone more red. We have used the pink. It turned red. I don't really want that to be the same for that. So I might pull out a different pink. What's this one? Let's just see. Oh, that's very pink. I guess we're doing it now. So we're kind of strayed from our original colour palette a bit more than I intended, but it just is what it is at this point. She can have fun shoes. That should probably stay white, actually. All right. Well, with that pink done, let's come back with our fluoro. It's probably not going to do a lot, is it? We can use this to bring some pink into her pants. Maybe even just a bit of general pink light on like a jumper and stuff. And then again, just going in the darker areas where I think shadows would fall. I do need to come back with this pink because it kind of, it did change quite a lot, so. All right. what do we think we need to do next is the question. Obviously, there's a bit of white, which we can't have white. I do need to figure out the sky. And I'm also just wondering if I want to bring in some textures and some of these things, some of these areas that I've done here. Like, for example, this would probably be wood. So maybe I can just add a few lines around it to make it feel a bit more wood-like, even if it's not sort of perfect. And then this would potentially be like a woven thing, right? So I wonder if we can just add just a sense of a little bit of texture. Just adding some lines on it even. This is all shiny, so actually we do need to bring in some paint pens to make that shine well. So we can use these to just add a few highlights again. Probably not what I wanted to do. I might have picked the wrong colour for this because I've ended up quite orange. So might have been better to pick like an orange, but that's okay. Where else? Flowers. Even have back here. What colours do we have? We do have a yellow, but there's sort of not really a lot to do with the ducks now, is there? Unless we just want to add some, just for the sake of texture. Some pinks and purples.
I like the purple outfit.
Yeah? You feeling it?
Yep. And the ducks. I like the ducks.
So I'm just adding some highlights, really. Just non-specific ones in different areas. This is actually a really good pen for fine details too. I'll do some really small dots quite easily. And that's something I hadn't considered so much with this, is just like decorating it with dots and stuff and texture.
There's a few people in the comments talking about snow where they are at the moment.
Oh wow.
Something we don't usually get here.
Yeah, definitely not. I don't know why I thought I should do this with paint marker, but here we are. So I should probably think about the sky at this point. What do I want to do with the sky? I could just like forget the paint markers and just like do it with, say, a pencil and just go for a really light, gentle, whatever. I don't know.
A gentle whatever.
A gentle whatever. Like if I'm just doing a really light and using this on its side so I don't end up with the lines. For a second I thought there was another cat looking over her shoulder, but no, it's her hair. I like the cat thought though. And where do I end with the blue? I guess I can just fade it out to white. Excited Cupcake, welcome to our membership. Welcome to bronze. I want to rename our tiers at some point. We used the colours as like a placeholder that we never changed. Because at the moment teal is our top level because it's my favourite colour, and so our teal members get like, we do like a quarterly call, which by the way, sorry teal members, I owe you, we're trying to work out a date. We're going to jump on a video call soon, and then we have what's next level? Gold is next, which gets access to the Discord and gets like, well, I should go in reverse. Bronze gets all the emojis and the fun things, and you get to have the member badge, and just thanks for me for supporting us. And then silver up, we have access to our Discord server where you'll catch up. You get access to the extra member live streams with silver. There's lots of extra member videos in general that we put up, like vlogs and behind the scenes stuff. And yeah, after this stream is finished in about 15 minutes, we then do a members live stream in about like an hour after that.
I just put up my favourite emoji, members emoji.
That's Shane putting that up. So yes, we're going to do a members live stream after this. I take about an hour break and then we come back. Today in the members live stream, we're going to be doing something a bit random. I've got a whole bunch of paint markers and I'm turning them into an outfit. Yeah.
A paint marker jacket. Not paint markers. Well, paint markers on the jacket, but in a literal sense.
But like the actual paint markers, not just the art of paint markers. So that's going to be interesting. So that's what we're going to be doing in our member live stream after this live stream and after I ate lunch, because I think I'm starting to fade and make less sense and lose my words. So if you're wanting, if you're wanting more videos and if you're wanting to be a part of the Discord, then silver plus is the way to go, silver or higher. Our gold members also get extra discounts, I think, on our... There is details on the actual membership page. It should show you all the different breakdowns, but...
Yeah, there's a discount code for the gold members that they get, so... Yeah, that too.
Yeah. But then if you're teal, you get like everything from silver and gold and then more. If you're gold, you get everything from silver and a little bit more. So it's like, it's a tiered system. I just like having everyone in the Discord because we actually, like, I'm in there every day. I don't post in there every day, but I read everything everyone else posts. It's a really good community of members that we've got, and everyone's very supportive for each other. It's a wonderful place to hang out. It's like one of the first things I check in on when I have breakfast in the morning. I open up Discord and see what's happening. You definitely get a lot more behind the scenes of what we're working on. This week it was a picture of Moscow sitting on top of an all black puzzle that I did. Because I was in a puzzling mode. I'm kind of just keeping this one simple. I like it. It's just filling that whole like wanting to do something kind of mode. Nothing sort of spectacular. It just is, and sometimes that's all it needs to be. Had a few little fun moments with colours on jacket and stuff like that, just for something, you know, try and bring in a little bit of variety, but for the most part, it's a fairly simple page. What colour should I make the cat and her hair? I haven't actually got like a skin tone here. I wonder how close this would get to, because I took away all my browns and everything. Well, that's very pink. And my yellows are very yellow. Yeah, that's not a great skin tone.
She's basking in the glow of the sun.
I might need to come back and just finish her with the proper skin tone. Like, actually, I wonder what I have here. I do have some.
Maybe those breadsticks have become radioactive and it's sort of the glow.
That's quite. I'm just thinking if I have this one. Like, I could use this. I just don't know. On top of the pencils now, it might end up. Actually, no, that's pretty good. The breadsticks are looking a bit over the top too, let's face it.
Excited Cupcake says ginger cat and strawberry blonde hair.
Oh, strawberry blonde. This is kind of a strawberry blonde.
And Mystic Uni Wolf has asked how much it is for members to join. It is like on Sarah's YouTube page under the join thing. It works out what it is in your sort of like local area, so it's different for everyone. So I'd encourage you to have a look and see what it is there.
How's that for strawberry blonde? It's not that strawberry, but brand literal pink.
Looks good.
It works. I kind of want just something darker to this one, just for some shadows. It's going to quickly lose the blonde feel, so gotta be careful of that. And then we're going for ginger cat. I mean, I can just, these are probably very orange, but we did say bright and happy, didn't we? This cute little cat doesn't have any whiskers. Probably because he's so little. Now, my clouds are looking a bit weirdly empty, but I'm also just aware that like I don't have a lot of time left on this. So I might just give them a little bit of something. Just realised this is a Holbein colour. I thought they were Prisma colours I had here. Bit of a mix. So I might need to come back and work on the clouds, but for the most part, I don't know, it's a cute, fun little page. Nothing too special, but... And the colour palette doesn't really look a whole lot like the colour palette I started with, but it was still my starting off point, which is the point. And I do like just like the, yeah, like the little pockets of blue through the purple here, and I still just want to kind of play with the colours, even though it's sort of not what I was going for necessarily. Just because why not, you know? I'm really just loving colour at the moment, so experimenting with the colour I'm really enjoying. Like just seeing what happens if I put blue on top of the pink, you know? Because it doesn't always just make a purple. It's not always that straightforward. especially if it sits on top. You know what I haven't done with this one is any white details. I also haven't given her face much. But look, I mean, again, there's so much more you could keep going with because, like, I haven't done any sort of texture on her face really at all. I haven't really done much with the sky. Like, you can always keep going. It's just, you've got to make sure you're still enjoying it for that time. So, I don't know. I kind of feel like I'm sort of happy to leave this one at some point soon.
I can't believe in the live stream we got not just one picture done, but two.
I feel like that's like slight making fun of me, but that's okay. Make her bike shinier. She deserves a shiny bike. That little bit didn't work that well, but that's okay. My thing's always, if all else fails, just add white dots. Hasn't let me down yet. Or at least no one's told me that it's let me down. There we go. I think I'm pretty happy with that. Any thoughts?
Sarah Chalk says it looks fantastic. And Excited Cupcake likes the colours. It gives you that spring, almost summer vibe from childhood and can smell the fresh air and the cut grass.
Well, let's pull out again the original one that we did. So this was a very different approach. It was more just colouring in the lines compared to my first absolutely chaotic, not colouring in the lines at all. I think they both worked out really well. I was beaming after doing this one. This one, it's pulling out, and this is, I guess, again, like a very personal thing for me. This one is pulling out the perfectionist in me more, where I'm looking at going, is it finished? Maybe just this. Even though like it looks good, like I'm still thinking about every little thing. Whereas this one, it was more like, ooh, what else can I add? Ooh, what if I did this? What if I did this? So like my joy when creating this one was a lot more than my joy when creating this one. Even though I actually think they both look really cute at the end and they were both very relaxing. But that is obviously very different between people as well. This I think is for me because I'm trying to not be perfect and not do the perfection stuff anymore because I've done that. And I still want to do that in parts, and I love doing like hyper realistic images and stuff, but I'm in the process of trying to loosen up. And for me, this looser image for me is a bit of, I think, a personal win as well, of like, if I can get this right, look at what I can achieve, you know, and that. So this for me makes me so much happier because I see the journey and I see the joy, and I feel like even looking at it, it's like a scavenger hunt for colors and splotches and stuff like that. Whereas this one, I don't get that same vibe. So I'd love to hear what you think. We've got a final few minutes, so I'd love to hear your thoughts on, like, I mean, I like them both. Like, I don't want to downplay, but this is something you've probably heard me do a lot of my videos where I downplay my final piece because a part of me feels like frustrated that it's not finished. Whereas this one, I don't feel that frustration. This one, I feel a sense of like, I could have kept going, but look how far it came. And so I think that speaks to me of like, maybe this is just a big journey of me finding my style more. But I am loving this concept of the dopamine coloring and the just letting loose and the limitations of these colors for me, I think really helps. This one's a lot darker than what I was sort of intending for the whole thing to be. I picked quite a dark color palette, but look at how much vibrancy it has even with those really, really dark colors. So I think they're both very valid ways to color, and a lot of people probably find this one to be far less stressful than this one because it's a different kind of, I guess, pressure. But I think the point in all of this is working out like, what do you enjoy? Which ones make you smile while you do them, as opposed to which ones are you doing because you've seen them on Instagram and it's what other people do and it feels like it's the way to color. I'm trying to, for myself, throw the rules out the window and work out my own new rules, because rules and restrictions can help us be creative. So for me, I'm trying to work out my new rules of like, what are the dopamine coloring rules? And it's stuff like, let's just not use brown. Unless you're really feeling it in the moment, we don't need brown. You know, like, for me, it's about creating those restrictions, but then in the moment, I then have the freedom, and you can always go and grab something else if you're really feeling it in that moment. But this set of rules for me is like the rules that allow me to like embrace the messy middle and just be really confident and just be fearlessly creative in the process. And I'm loving it. And I hope that this stream's been fun. Please always like let us know if you're enjoying these streams and if you want more of like a specific thing, because it really helps me to know, like, do you want another video exploring this kind of coloring more? Do you want to do more bold and easy with me? Do you want me to do specific books? Or do you like, in the last few weeks, how we've been doing a lot more testing in the live streams, like showing you through my paint pens and stuff like that I'm working on. So I'd love to hear what kind of stuff that you're finding the most helpful, which streams you're enjoying the most. And for our members, we will see you again in about an hour from now. So if anyone who's new, who hasn't joined, there will, who's just joined and is looking for it, as long as you're silver or higher, you'll get notified about the stream as soon as we pop that up. And for everyone else, thank you so much for joining me, and I hope you did get something out of this. And if you end up trying to do some kind of dopamine coloring, please tag me on Instagram or Facebook, or if you post it in our free Facebook group that you're also welcome to join, or for our members, post on Discord. I would really love to see how you are interpreting this process or adapting it for yourself. And I'd love to know what you think of like the framework that I'm still trying to figure out. But on that note, have a great day, and we'll chat again in a few weeks. Bye.